Well, hello, and thanks for tuning in to All Access Pass. I'm your cruise host, Jason Venner, and I'm very glad to have you here with me for our first show. Now, today is certainly the way you want to start off in a show like this. Do me a favor, and we're in a live studio audience, I should mention, so when I say things like put your hands together, I may not be talking to you at home or in your cabins, but I'm certainly talking to the folks in the room. Please welcome to the stage, Fifth Dimension. Well, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day today. I know you have a show and some other things going on, so
Thank you for getting us up, not letting us sleep.
exactly. That's
No,
that's not the idea. Show business, right? Show business.
We enjoy. We've been able to speak to some people all around the ship, and we enjoy talking to the people and finding out what they want to know.
The cruise is kind of fascinating in that
Yeah.
way, isn't it? And you know, it's not very often you get stuck in one little petri dish with all your fans and the people that love you and fellow artists, and here you are.
But another good thing that we like is the fact that we're on the road so much that we don't get to see the other artists. So this way,
Sure.
we get to see our friends perform.
All right. And who do you who did you see anybody last night, or who are you looking forward to seeing?
I want to see all of them.
You see all of them, yeah, fair
right,
enough.
but
That's
I want to see Peter Asher tonight.
Yeah.
And we saw Three Dog Night last night. Yeah. So.
They were great.
Yeah.
They were great. If you were in the other show, if you saw Fifth Dimension, how many of you see them tonight? Who gets to see the Fifth Dimension tonight? Oh, good. A bunch of folks. So you got to see Three Dog last night. So yeah, we're very excited to bring legends like yourselves on the ship and certainly on stage here today. So I would kindly ask if you would take a moment and introduce yourselves to our fine audience and our fine folks on television, and just say hello if you don't mind. Obviously, we'd have royalty start if you don't mind, Mr. Laroo.
Hi, I'm Florence Laroo, and I'm one of the original members of the group, celebrating over 50 years
50 years.
with the Fifth Dimension. Yeah. I also am a grandmother, and I also have a one-woman show.
A grandmother and a one-woman show, and all of you are now jealous. I get it. Yeah, it's,
My name is Willy Williams. I've been with the group now over 20 years, I think. And it's a very great experience, one of the joys of my life. And when I'm not up there, I'm the worship leader at my church. And I believe in giving God all the glory. Amen?
Hi, everybody. My name is Leonard Tucker, and I've been with Fifth Dimension now for about 11 years. I happen to be doing a show in Branson, Missouri, and the incredible Florence Laroo and Macklemore were in the audience and asked me to audition. So it's been an honor and truly a privilege to be a part of this legacy. And so I'm just very happy to be here. Very happy to be among you folks. And when I'm not on the road with Fifth Dimension, I have a band that I work with in San Diego called the Mighty Untouchables. Also do radio and television jingles, things like that. And so to keep the wheel rolling. And I just want to say thanks for being here, and we're enjoying ourselves. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Patrice Morris, and I'm happy to be here today. I've been with the group, I guess, about 10 years, and it's just a pleasure to be a part of this group. Everybody's personable, everybody's close, and it's just a wonderful feeling to be a part of a group that brings such joy to people like you, and we enjoy the songs as well. When I'm not with the group, I have a wonderful husband. I've been married for 37 years, and thank you, and I have 3 young adults, 2 boys, 1 girl, and they bring joy to my life. I also am a worship leader at my church, and I am a gospel artist. So I travel when I'm not with them. I've been blessed to do other things. So just thankful.
Hello, everyone. My name is Floyd Smith, and I've been with the Fifth Dimension about 9 years now. My profession before was a concert promoter, and when I'm not traveling with the Fifth Dimension, I have a foundation called Music Therapy for Veterans, where we help our veterans suffering with PTSD. So it's an honor to be here with you this afternoon, and thank you very much.
And I have to tell you something about Leonard and Patrice. Actually, Leonard, normally we audition members if someone leaves or gets sick or whatever. Leonard did not have to audition. We heard him sing and we say, We want him. Same with Patrice. Patrice came to an audition, but what she didn't know was she didn't really have to audition. But to make it official, I had to make her audition.
Yeah. You had to make her sweat a little bit.
Right.
You had to make her sweat a little bit. You can't just give it to her. Yeah.
And the message, we're not religious, but we're spiritual. And one thing we say, all of us are involved in different churches, different religions. Believe it or not, I sing tenor in the church choir. But we know that God comes first, then family, and then career.
Oh, have you ever met a more wholesome group? My goodness. And they save puppies and cure cancer on the downside. So that's just a day in the life of Fifth Dimension. My goodness, there's nothing you guys don't do.
Oh, I've sung at bar mitzvahs.
And you sung at bar mitzvahs.
We respect all religions.
Yeah, hey, fair enough. Well, we don't want to spend too much time necessarily, starting in the beginning. But if you wouldn't mind, just briefly in your own words, what the Versatiles, 1965, 1966, it becomes Fifth Dimension. Give us a little taste of what it is in the beginning.
Well, actually, in the beginning, when we got together, we called ourselves the Versatiles because we had 5 different singers with 5 very different voices. If you're putting together a gospel group, you'll have 5 gospel singers. If you're putting together an R&B group, 5 R&B or whatever. But we had 5 people with 5 very different voices, which was good because it allowed us to sing all kinds of music. We actually sang Vesta La Jupe from Pagliacci in our show. We did R&B. But however, when we when we signed with the record company, they said, the Versatiles, no, we need something a little hipper. So we all got together and thought of different names. We thought of the Mark V because our manager's name was Mark. But it was Ron Townsend, the big guy, who is with the Lord right now. But he and his wife, they thought of the Fifth Dimension because there are 5 of us. And also, since there is no Fifth Dimension, the Fifth Dimension is our dimension of sound. And it's very difficult to put a name to our sound. So someone once coined a phrase I really like, and it was, I forgot what it was now.
Champagne
soul.
I got you,
Thank
Florence.
you. Oh, yeah, I like that.
Because you had a pretty broad, you were kind of touching on it, but pop, R&B, soul, jazz, a bit of opera,
right.
hence the champagne. It was upper crust soul in a lot of ways.
And actually, our show never, our recordings didn't reflect the versatility of the group because our recordings were mostly pop, but the show was very well-rounded, and it did show the versatility in the group, which I think you'll see tonight. So,
and you had some major hits, obviously, right off the bat in the 67, 68, 66, 66, 67, 68. Some of your biggest hits came out right in that time frame. What was it like at the time, being a part of the group and having that instant success when you guys, I know it's not instant, but as you changed your name to Fifth Dimension, it was somewhat, quickly.
It was actually instant because we were working at different jobs. Ron was working at the post office. I was getting my degree I had my bachelor's in education. So all of a sudden, we had to decide, what are we going to do? We had to quit our regular jobs. I think at the time, I believe I was working as a telephone operator and then an electronic assembler.
That's a heck of a voice to answer the phone if you call in, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the voice you want on the other end.
Listen, I almost got fired because they thought I was putting on and trying to tempt people, but that's just the way I sounded.
It was 1-900 Florence.
Anyway, but we had to decide to quit our jobs and take a chance on going out there and doing what we really wanted to do. And when I look back, it was like going to the office because it was all I knew. So it wasn't like, oh, you're Fifth Dimension, blah. Now that I look back, I am so proud to be a part of a group who had such wonderful harmonies, who was a clean-cut group. I'm very, very proud to be a part of a family-oriented group. But we didn't start out trying to be anything. It's just the way we were. It's just the way God made us.
That's beautiful. That
was part of the thing. That's part of the reason that these people are here. Not only because they're fantastic singers, because there are so many fantastic singers out there.
Sure.
But also because they have what I call the Fifth Dimension personality. They don't do drugs and smoke, do all of those things. And no, we're not angels. I'm sure we all have our little secrets. But
Patrice had a big old nod right there. Yeah. Patrice, there's something you need to tell everybody.
Yes,
I'm innocent.
Yeah.
Are we making it's just going to be in the Star?
Uh-huh.
No, but they have that Fifth Dimension.
Sure.
And we are like a family. We live together and travel together. So yes, we have disagreements, and
As
Mom
families
here
do.
can be, kind of, I won't say the word, but But we love each other.
That's all that really matters. And right in the beginning there, Up and Away, five Grammys for Up and Away right off the bat. And yeah. I mean, as a Grammy Award winner, does that add anything? Where are the Grammys? Are they on your? Are they holding down like kids' papers and stuff, or what?
Well, it used to be that everyone in the group got a Grammy until the Mormon Tabernacle Choir won. Now they give one,
Too
and
many people.
you have to share it. So we each
Have
share
one.
a group.
You do have one though.
Yeah, mine's broken. I dropped it.
I'm willing to bet they would replace it for you.
No, they'll fix it. I just haven't taken the time to take it to them.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more with The Fifth Dimension. Hey, everybody, and thanks for not turning the channel, and thanks for not leaving the room. We are back with more with the fabulous The Fifth Dimension. So the Fifth Dimension Vocal Group Hall of Fame. You got the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Let's talk more about what's going on now. Let's talk more about, I mean, you're here on the cruise, obviously. What else is going on, not individually necessarily, but as a group, what are we doing?
Well, now we've been quite busy performing and traveling all over the world. We were recently in the Philippines and in Canada. And there's talk of a new recording. We haven't begun yet. So we're just really sort of woodshedding and getting things together, yes.
And what took you to the Philippines?
We performed there.
Well,
As a matter of
obviously,
fact,
I didn't think you were there on vacation, Florence.
Well, I have
Fair
friends.
enough.
I have
Valid.
friends in the Philippines
Valid.
now.
I thought you meant you shouldn't.
No, we performed at the Coliseum where they had, that big fight with Ollie.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
Very cool.
A lot of good food, like on the ship.
Amen to that. And how about Canada? Where were you up in Canada?
Recently we were at the Fallsview Casino at Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay.
And it was great. Yeah.
That's a beautiful area. We have actually a lot of our folks watching, and probably a few in the room are Canadian. I know we have a good chunk of Canadian guests that do the Flower Power cruise. The most prominent one being my own wife, who is Canadian. So I'm very careful to make sure I acknowledge all Canadians always.
Yeah. Well, I started in two places in Canada, one in Calgary and one in Toronto. And I'll tell you, the Canadians were so nice. I was ready to move.
It's true.
They were, yeah.
It's true.
It was cold. I've never been so cold
ever in my life. Me either.
Oh.
My wife is from Windsor, which is just across from
Yes,
Detroit.
we've been to Windsor.
My bones hurt when I
Yeah.
visited their
Yeah.
home. I've never been that cold in my life.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
But their hearts are so warm. It's
Well,
great.
you know, how do you get a Canadian to apologize? Step on his foot.
Oh.
Yeah. They're that nice. They are. They're that nice. It's just, I tell my wife all the time, stop apologizing. Life is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've had a couple of shows in Canada. You're in the Philippines. What's next on the show docket after the cruise? Where are you headed?
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
Yes, Atlantic
Oh.
City.
How long's the run in Atlantic City?
It's a short run.
Short run.
We're doing as part of a tour of the East Coast.
And as you look forward to possibly a new recording, what can we look forward to on a new recording? Is it a new sound? Is it the same sound that we know and love, or what's the vision possibly?
We don't want to change our sound. I remember once I had a gentleman in the group who's no longer here, who said, "Oh, well, your Fifth Dimension should be more R&B." No, we don't want to change our sound. We want to use the voices that we have and continue with music that has good harmony. Personally, I'd like to see us do a dance record. We've never really, I mean, Stone Soul Picnic was sort of, but I'd like to see us do a real dance record, So who
Patrice
knows?
agrees.
Yeah.
She
We
wants-
a matter of fact, Patrice started a song.
I did. I wrote a song.
Uh,
I'm waiting on her to approve it.
I'm waiting for you to finish this. I'm waiting for you to finish the song. We do a little bit of the show. Show us what you got. Yeah.
So as the group, how do I ask this politely? How collaborative is it? You are obviously, you said you get to play the
Well,
mother
you see
role
who's
at
wearing
times.
the,
You are wearing the jacket. You are wearing the jacket.
No, we all contribute because we all have different talents. We have people that I don't write. I like to write lyrics, but Patrice is a fine songwriter. As a matter of fact, she has written some gospel songs, which she has recorded her own CDs, and so we're hoping maybe she'll write something. Leonard, do you write?
Oh, yes.
Well, see, he
keep
hasn't
it
told
under
me this. I'm
control.
finding out
You
things
finding out stuff
myself.
today too.
Yeah. So we have to use the talents within the group, those that write. I wrote the lyrics to a song that the Fifth Dimension recorded called "Say You Love Me," but I like to sing. You know, that's not my forte. I wish I could. Every time I write a melody, it sounds like something I heard before. But Patrice has got she's got the gift, so maybe she'll write us a hit song.
Yeah.
And Willie, you said, how long did you say you've been in the group, sir?
Over 20 years
20
now.
years now.
Yes.
20 years.
Yes.
And how's the journey been for you?
It's been fantastic. It was just like pinching myself every time I perform, to wake up, is this real?
Sure.
To be able to be with a group that's a clean-cut group, and just it's been a fantastic ride.
Willie's first job, as a matter of fact, was on a ship.
On a ship.
And he only had about a week rehearsal. I had to go down and pray with him. He was
Oh,
so
yeah.
scared. Really?
And I prayed the whole time I was walking to the stage, and God came through.
And Leonard, how about yourself? I mean, this is obviously, it's got to be somewhat of a dream to perform with a group like Fifth Dimension. I mean, you get discovered, quote unquote. I don't mean to use that term rudely at all, but
No, that's okay.
you're performing in Branson, and some folks in the audience see you, spot you, and ask you to come join. What's it like?
I think it's just an answer to prayer. I think God knows exactly where you need to be, when you need to be there, and when you're ready to put on that jacket.
Sure.
And it's just been performing and praying about what direction I wanted to go. Because I worked a full-time job for about 10 years. In 1989, I was doing things, doing my job, my regular day job, and then doing gigs and stuff after that, and then my attendance started looking really bad on the calendar.
What was that day job?
That day job was working at General Dynamics as a security officer.
Okay.
Saying hello to everyone and making sure they had the badges on. And but in the evening, I was writing songs and doing gigs, and I made that decision to just follow my heart and follow my dreams. And I had the okay from my wife of 38 years, and haven't looked back since. It's just been
Good for you.
beautiful, and it's been an honor to carry the mantle a little further.
That's beautiful. Patrice, same thing for you. You're obviously a solo artist as well, and you're in gospel and whatnot.
I am, and church is my background. I'm from Mississippi, and you're forced to go to church. So I
It's not optional.
5 other brothers and sisters, and we've been singing. But church is the background. But I do all music, all types for different venues. But when I joined the Fifth Dimension, it was different because I had to sing and dance. And I'm going, I know I've got rhythm, but I can't get. And I really thought she was going to let me go because I was trying to get the step and trying to remember the words, and it just was not working. And but finally, she was patient with me, and finally, I was able to get it together. But my first performance with her, first, second, third, fourth, I messed up a lot, but she was patient with me. So, and of course, I got it. And now, hey, I know what I'm doing now. And I love it, and I love working with her because, like I said, my background was other things, but she's a smart lady, and she taught me things of quality. And I really appreciate the things that she's taught me because I'm able now to take it to even my choir, things that I've learned from her, and they've even gotten better because of things that she taught me. So I'm just grateful to be a part of this group, this ministry, where God has me now, and it's wonderful. And thank you all for sticking with us all these years.
And now my problem child.
I was actually going to ask you first, if she'd have messed up the 5th time, would she still be here? She said 1, 2, 3, 4.
Listen, she'd still be here. She'd still be here.
All right, problem child. Floyd.
Well, I cannot tell a lie.
Well, we don't know about it.
I've been self-employed for over 38 years, and getting the opportunity to sing with the Fifth Dimension, it gave me an opportunity to learn more humility, to learn to take orders for a minute here, And I was never really good at that, you know. So I actually had an opportunity, to be honest. I learned a lot from Florence and being with the group. Learning how to fit in and learning how to work with a team. When I was always giving the orders, now I'm getting some orders. So I've learned a lot, you know, in learning how to do that. But, you know, just being with the Fifth Dimension, like they said, we are a family, and we definitely enjoy each other's company. And, you know, it's just an amazing blessing to do what you love to do, and God knows what's in your heart, and he somehow makes that opportunity happen, and I'm just blessed to have that opportunity.
And Floyd's added a new dimension to the Fifth Dimension because we've never really had a bass singer in the group, and he's added that rich bass voice. He's also had to learn to kind of channel his energy. He's very energetic. like I am. Yeah, I had to do the same thing, so I understand.
You'll see it tonight, and I'll get a beating for it later.
You know, I must say, on
Yes,
the
sir.
teaching part, as they were saying, she is a great teacher. You don't always, you know, students, we don't want to listen because she told me, you know, you can't sing that way. You can't, don't do this, and curly cues and all of that. And what is she talking about? You know, and then after I realized, and when I did what she told me to do, it all began to come together. So she's helped mold us all into being the singers and the professional people that we are is because of Miss Laroo.
I think, well, let me explain curly cues. Willie is blessed with a voice that can do runs and different things, all different things. And one time he was singing a song in church, and the ladies just went crazy. And I said, it was okay. And he looked at me and like, what? Because people have never said that to him because he's got this fabulous voice. I said, just sing the song, tell the story. You don't have to do all of that. You know, Sinatra, he didn't do all of that. And he did, he sang the song. He had me in tears. He sang it so beautifully. You know, so I never tell anybody how to sing.
Right.
Because everybody has their own style.
Right.
However, when, for instance, when we sing our solos, you'll hear all different styles.
Right.
But when we sing the Fifth Dimension music, they must sound like the Fifth Dimension recording because that's what people come to see.
Amen.
So if they're singing,
That's
yeah.
right.
So if they're not, you know, going too far off from the Fifth Dimension, I will say, no, hold back. And when you get your solo, you can just go crazy and do whatever you want. But I know that you people come to hear songs that you bring back your memories. You don't want to hear an updated version of Up, Up, and Away or Aquarius.
I think that's a perfect opportunity to take one more quick break. We'll be back with more with the Fifth Dimension. Hey, and thanks for not turning the channel. Welcome back for our last segment with the wonderful, the amazing, the talented, the Fifth Dimension. Now I have, on segment number 3 of our All Access Pass, what we like to do is we like to do what's called breaking the fourth wall. The fourth wall is an invisible wall in entertainment that exists between you and who's on stage. Many times if you watch a movie or if you watch TV, there's a natural fourth wall because you have the glass of what you're watching or the screen. But when we are live, when an entertainer is live, and I bet you everyone up here has an opinion on this or can vocalize this for you, the fourth wall is what an artist strives to break to make you feel as if you're part of the moment, as if you are in part of the show, as if you are contributing. Your energy is helping them on stage just as much as what they're doing on stage is bringing that energy to you. So every entertainer wants to break that fourth wall. It's much easier for me than most entertainers because I literally just get to hand out questions to the audience card. And this allows you to have your moment in the show. So each one of our shows, All Access Pass, you'll have a moment to fill out a card. And I will then ask those questions to our folks up here on stage. So if you would be so kind, anyone can answer. Florence, I have a feeling that most of these will be aimed at you, but of course everyone is available. Steve, all the way from Chicago, says, who is Bill from Will You Marry Me?
Bill just happens to be the name of the fellow that the song was written about. It just so happened that at that time, Marilyn and Billy Davis were dating. Well, actually, it was after they recorded Wedding Bell Blues, so it was not written for us. And Bill is whoever is out there, and the young lady wants him to marry her. And we've had quite a few people come up and say, "Oh, you know, I sang that to my fiance, and now we're married."
That's all you need. You all live in different places. How often does the group get together? And when you aren't touring, and when you aren't performing, so how often do you guys get together and see each other when you're not on a gig, so to speak?
Not a lot, only because we live so far.
Yeah.
Floyd and Leonard live in San Diego, and Patrice lives in Riverside. Willie lives in Victorville, and I'm in Encino. So we're really not close. But recently, we all got together for my 75th birthday.
And a birthday.
Yeah.
75th Anna birthday. It's not every day you get to have an Anna birthday.
Right.
75 years young, madam. First and foremost, you're stunning. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank
Good for you.
No, I'm just happy to be healthy.
Amen.
But no, people ask us, do we get together? We don't get together to rehearse a lot because we do most of our rehearsals on the road. When we put together a new show, we'll get together. But and we have the same interests, so sometimes we may end up at different events together.
And do you show up at church sometimes?
She does.
To-
Well, I do. That's right. Yeah.
She's supported me a couple of times, several times, with events that I've had, and a couple of times I was really surprised and happy to see her. You know, it's good when you see your boss in the audience.
Smiling
And
at the
yes,
audience.
Yes,
I don't look at myself as the
and you know
boss.
you're making her proud. So it really makes me feel good when she can show up to a couple of things that I do.
But I had to get out there and teach her, push her. Sell these CDs. She was, she singing great. I said, girl, you better get out there and make these people buy these CDs.
Make that money.
And she would work too. She'd sell them for me when she came to my show.
This is an interesting question. Tell us, and Florence, I'll aim this at you, but everyone can kind of chime in. It's a for fun question, so don't take it too seriously. What was your worst gig and why? I always like the questions that kind of go the other way. Have you ever had a rough moment, a rough gig, or something that just didn't go right? And
You want to take it,
Do you have any
Patrice?
ideas?
Well, we haven't really had a rough gig. We've had some things happen. Once we were performing, I forget what it is, you can help, Tarrytown, and the airline lost our luggage.
oh, that'll
Well,
do it.
we all happened to be wearing nice pressed jeans and T-shirts, so I went out and bought Tarrytown T-shirts, and we performed, and they loved it.
Well, they thought you were very supportive of the
Right.
town, I'm sure, yeah.
Even though they were used to. Oh, Patrice, you remember the gig where you and Willie were? It was snowing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We ended up
Yeah,
on
we were on our way. I don't remember where we were going, but we were stuck in Washington.
Yeah.
And we were at the train station.
Yeah, we had
And
to get on the
Mm-hmm.
train.
the train canceled, but
The first the plane canceled.
the
First
plane
flight.
canceled,
And then,
yes.
then our manager arranged for you to come on the
yes.
train.
Well, we got to the train, and then Willie didn't want to get on the train, and
Yeah,
I was
we
going to
were
leave
fussing.
him.
We
He
were-
says, well, we've got to
we
get
were
permission.
upset.
I said, well, you get permission. I'm going on because we got to get to the show. And so we were fighting getting on the train.
in love.
Oh, it was just horrible. And then the train stopped somewhere because the snow was everywhere. But we ended up at our destination. I don't know. That was horrible.
It was rough. I think my worst moment, personally, and maybe it's too personal, but anyway, I came out on stage and I tripped over one of the cords coming down.
Oh.
And I wanted to just get away. And then, but because of all the love that we have for each other and the band members, they'll just laugh with love. They laugh with love, but that was one of my moments. I just like, God, help me get up quickly.
Quickly being the key word to that sentence.
Quickly.
Quickly, please.
Another one was when I forgot my words.
What do
Like
you
the
do?
sound
And
you
she
hear, the
knows
thing is in
every
the
word.
ear.
I think we've all tripped too. I tripped over one of the monitors one time.
Yeah, you did. You
Yeah.
did.
But she knows every single word.
Yes.
There have
The
been times
50
when
years.
I've had a senior moment and I'm coming out and I look at her and she's got it.
But I forgot the words to a song one time when we were performing at the Greek Theater. I don't know if you know where that in Los Angeles.
course.
And it was so embarrassing. But as Patrice says, you just go on and you
just-
compose. Do you know that's how scatting came about? Ella Fitzgerald.
Forgot the words and
And started
scattered through
scatting,
something.
yeah. So they say if you forget the words, in church they say just scat, or in church they say just shout.
Just start shouting. You look at that, shout out the hot.
Bring Jesus and we'll be just fine.
Hallelujah. Oh, goodness.
Cindy from Illinois asked, Florence, do you keep in touch with original band members?
You know, everybody loves to see the bad side, the dirt. That's why they read the Star and the Enquirer. They want the dirt.
Sure.
They always
Fake
try
news.
Right, they always try to put something between Marilyn McCoo and me. There's not. As a matter of fact, she was also at my 75th birthday party. We keep in touch. We're actually better friends now than we were then, I think. Because we've all grown. Unfortunately, as I said, Ron Townsend, the big guy, has gone to the Lord. Sometimes you never know how much you love a person until they're gone, because every once in a while I'll accidentally call Willie Ron. And I just love that man with all my heart. He was just so wonderful. He was like a big boy. He thought wrestling was real. He liked cowboys, And he would come to me because I'm the health nut. I've always been the health nut in the group. And he'd say, would you help me with, I said, okay. So one day I saw him eating a hamburger. Ron, leave me alone. and then back then, I would wear my little minis. If you were my wife, you wouldn't be wearing those minis. Well, that's why I'm not your wife. I mean, we fought like brothers and sisters, but we loved each other. And who does he call at 2 in the morning to go to the hospital? Me. So he was just a beautiful, beautiful person, and I loved him very much. Lamont is retired in Las Vegas. We don't see each other as often, but Marilyn and I, Billy and I, attend many of the same Christian functions, so we run into each other a lot.
It says, actually, what do Marilyn and Billy do now?
Well, they have their own show, a duet show, and they perform all over also. A lot of in the church. They also have a group called Soldiers for the Lord, which they perform.
Oh, very nice. And this last question, same individual, she got a few questions. Man, she really took advantage of this card. Didn't know you could write that small. Could you please sign my album cover, I love you and thank you?
But of course.
We'll get you, yeah, she's right back there, no worries. We'll do it in a minute when we're not live on television here. Florence, Abby from Miami says, you're super healthy. Are you a marathoner? I've read that you're a runner and a marathoner.
I began marathons in my 60s. I don't run, I walk, and I usually do the half marathon, and I've got many, many medals from competing. And I enjoy it because I have 2 friends that walk with me, and we don't do it to win, we do it to finish. The 10th mile is like, why am I doing this?
Amen to that.
And then the 13th mile, and you cross that finish line, it's like, this is why. We do it for the T-shirts and the medals.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I've run a handful of marathons. My wife and I actually are runners in fitness. Well, I don't. Obviously, I'm not as fitness freak as my wife. But you pick races based on what you call swag. Right? You get advertisements for all the different races, and you start looking at them, and you go, this one doesn't have a T-shirt. This one doesn't have a medal. This one doesn't have it. Ooh, T-shirt, medal, and a swag bag. I'm picking that one.
My favorite was the Disney because they had the prettiest medals.
Yeah. They do. Disney's great, and there's a whole group called Rock and Roll, and the Rock and Roll marathons have tons of great stuff. So yeah, Brittany and I pick things based on what we know we're going to get from it.
And I've got the whole group into health. Patrice is walking now, and yeah.
And
Gotta
she
keep 'em
still
healthy.
gets
She got us hooked.
She still gets me, and I guess I just kind of took not his place, but anyway, the cookies, because something about cookies that's sweet.
What's your favorite cookie?
Oatmeal
Any
raisin.
You are literally speaking to my wife's soul right now. She's a fitness expert that will die for some oatmeal raisin cookies.
Me too.
Actually, the last bit of the question was, would you mind sharing a little bit about your diet and your eating? Because I noticed you said it a couple times, so I don't feel embarrassed.
Right.
saying
Well,
it.
as I tell people, you shouldn't diet.
Right.
It becomes a way of life because you can diet to gain weight. There are people who have to diet to gain weight. You must look at what's good for you.
Right.
I can't tell Patrice what to eat because her body has different needs than mine, different vitamins and minerals. So you have to find out, maybe with the help of a health professional, what your body needs, and you do that. I was a vegetarian for a while, but then my nutritionist told me I needed the protein from meat.
Right.
So I eat mostly fish and chicken. Now, every once in a while, I have some beef, but I really don't have a taste for it, and I haven't eaten pork in years. But I like to eat, and I also eat organic. Every day I try to have an organic apple. I even brought them on the ship with me because you can't always get organic apples. But I take my little packages of nuts and organic apples with me on the road. It's funny because when we had tours, I'm like a Girl Scout. I had everything, the needle and thread, the this and that. So they laughed at me, but yet they come back, oh, Florence, can I borrow a needle? I said, 50 cents, 50 cents.
Per inch.
And also, stop drinking sodas.
Yeah.
I try to say the only thing I try to drink is fresh water. It's the best thing to, nourish your body. And ladies, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. I've been blessed that I've never had any problems with skin, and I don't do anything special, but I try and drink. I still don't drink enough water, but I try and drink a lot of water. I carry a water bottle with me so I can see how much water I'm drinking. But just use common sense and move.
Yes.
You know, people, especially if any of you have arthritis, move, whether or not it hurts, because when you move, it lubricates the joints. It's when you stop moving that those joints will stop. So even if it hurts, just walk. You don't have to walk a marathon, but just keep walking and only do as much as you can do.
Right.
Don't hurt yourself, but
Right.
move. That's the best thing you can do. Drink water, move, and eat sensibly.
Right.
I'm writing a beauty book called Let Your Light Shine, PMS, physically, mentally, and spiritually, because those are the important things.
That's fabulous. I'm getting the flash sign from the back. I'm getting the other finger from Brian now. So I tell you what, I've done a lot of interviews. This was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much to all of you for spending the time to come up here and be a part of this and letting us know a little bit more about yourselves and your life. And 75 years young, allow me to say what everyone's thinking, which is you're absolutely stunning, absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure everyone in this room hates you a little bit for how good you look.
Well, my grandmother always said, pretty is as pretty does. So I try
Amen.
to be pretty.
Well, I think you're far more than that. I think you're stunning. Do me a favor, please help me in thanking the Fifth Dimension. I'm your cruise host, Jason. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great show. We'll see you out and about.